Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Cold Steel Aces podcast. I'm Scott, and I'm here with Dinger. Today, we're going to be going over quite a few topics in the NFL playoff world. We are missing a host, but that doesn't mean we don't have a lot to talk about. So, we're going to jump right into it, first and foremost. And I would actually like to start to talk about the games first, and then get into some questions for each game. We'll start in order with how they were today, or not today, last week rather. Excuse me. Starting on Saturday, our first game was Browns Texans. How about you give me a little bit of rundown? Give me your thoughts and opinions on that one, Dinger.
All right, so coming into the game, Joe Flacco was unstoppable. I thought I was living back in my young childhood days watching him sling the ball, and I was waiting for him to come out and do good. Well, we've seen in the first couple drives, it was a close, tight game. And I was like, wow, this game's going good. I had the Browns winning because I thought Joe Flacco, 38, playoff experience. He has it. He won the Super Bowl, so he knows what to do, how to do it. Then comes the turnovers, and the game just went out of reach for him. C.J. Stroud, rookie quarterback, amazing. He played fantastic, and like the division he's in is that division is going to be insane soon. But that game, I legit, I think I just turned it off after like once we got to the fourth quarter. It was like 44 to whatever it was. It was just like, wow. I did not think a game like that on Wild Card Weekend would actually happen.
Yeah, it's just surprising the way the game went, especially the score. I mean, I think that in my heart, I knew that it was going to be a shootout. I just didn't think it was going to be what we got. Watching the Texans all year has been a privilege of mine, unfortunately, as a Colts fan. But I mean, I knew, and almost everybody knew, if you also played fantasy football, Nico and Tank and Stroud, just insane passing game, and not even that. That's really what everybody talked about. But their defense is stellar. I mean, you have a defensive minded coach anyway coming in to coach the team this year. Rookie head coach, used to play for the Texans, and honestly, last year they were bottom of the league team, and coming into this year, same with the Colts, they were a bottom of the league, projected anyway. No one thought they were going to be this good. And again, their defense has picked it up at the back half of the year. I mean, the Browns, as we saw for the last 5 weeks that Flacco has been there,
Yeah.
300 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, several games. Um, that's an impressive metric for any quarterback. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, that was insane. We thought, I honestly, when I didn't think the Browns were going to be this good coming into the year, nor the Texans. I didn't think Texans or Browns were making it
no,
into the playoffs. Actually, I didn't even, I had Jacksonville actually win that division going all the way
they should
into the
have. Yeah.
playoffs.
Hmm.
And then for the Browns division, I had the Ravens and Bengals getting in, not the other way around, all three but the Bengals. Who would have thought? And then with Will Anderson Jr., he played. That's the other thing. On Saturday afternoon or evening time, that's the first time they had both their edge rushers play at like the same time and like basically the whole season. So
Yep.
Texans are gonna be a scary team, I think, especially if they keep on drafting right like they just did this past season.
Right. And speaking of drafting, right, we can talk about the matchup that was honestly supposed to be, Watson coming back home to the Texans. It brings a better question, I suppose, going forward in the future. I mean, do we see a repeat of this season with Watson at quarterback? Or do we think that Joe Flacco just unlocked the full potential of what this team had? I'll
I
let you
think,
start.
yeah, I think so. When Flacco came in, he was the first Browns quarterback to do that in what history? I think it was something like that. Watson wasn't close of doing that, but the way I also look at it as well is like when we grew up watching this game, Joe Flacco was playing. He was in his prime. What did they use all the time back then? Their tight ends. Njoku was barely getting used with Watson. Flacco comes in, and Njoku getting used, and they're just tearing up defenses. So if Watson can figure out, like, look, I can use my tight end, I can actually throw it to him, he can do some damage. I think Watson will be able to, but at the same time, he hasn't been the same player since he got his contract. It's like one of those, oh, I got my contract, why play now, type of thing.
All guaranteed. Yeah, he was a menace
Yeah.
on the Texans. I mean, that was a. I mean, we still whooped them because we had Andrew Luck, but that was still you know, an incredible player. I mean, at that point in time, before any allegations came out, all that stuff. In theory, if anyone was going to take him to the Browns, it would have been him in prime, and he's still a young guy, but
Yeah, he can turn it around for sure, but
his injuries have just started piling up recently too. The game against the Colts where that kind of like ended his season there, he didn't look good. He didn't look $230 million good, but at no point has he looked good for the Browns, unfortunately.
yeah, this whole time being there, he hasn't done anything. And
Hmm.
the worst part about it is no one's going to take that contract.
Nope.
No one. So
Mm-mm.
they're going to keep him. They're not cutting him. There's no way.
They're probably just gonna hope that Dorian Thompson, I think his name is gonna
They
step up.
tried. They tried. They remember he didn't do nothing
No, he's a
in
rookie.
the regular season. I know.
You're right.
I know.
He,
But I mean, he's learning off of a guy who hasn't shown anything in the past year and a half.
yeah. Well, Flacco is certainly going to be a good mentor. I don't know what he's going to do now. I mean, I think he's got
He's
great
got to
football left.
retire. You don't think he's gonna not retiring? I think he's gonna retire.
I think he's going to retire, but I think he has good football left. I just think he's going to go out now because who's going to sign 39-year-old Joe Flacco next year?
Oh no, I mean there's plenty of
And
teams
nope.
that might. I mean he just dropped 4 games in a row, 300 plus
As a
this
backup.
season. Yeah, but look, yeah, that's fine. We've seen. Well, the quarterbacks this year were awful. Like so.
Yeah, it's bad when he can just step in and just throw 15 touchdowns to 8 interceptions in 5 games.
I'd rather see 39-year-old Joe Flacco go out there than some random dude who can't even throw 150 yards.
I know. Baker. Not Baker. Jeez. Excuse me. Gardner. Sorry. I got my
I know.
my
Oh
quarterbacks
my
mixed up.
God.
Gardner.
Hunter Minshew.
Oh, good
Hey,
old
it's all
Gardner.
right. You guys got Anthony Richardson. He's gonna be fine. I can't wait to see
yeah.
what that offense actually is like with him, because that offense was a different level with him. Obviously,
It
'cause
was.
that offense is built around a improvised quarterback. He just has to learn. He has to slide. Stop taking his big hits.
And what most people didn't see is, yeah, he made the athletic plays, similar to how Josh Allen does with a lot of his running. It was the same style. Richardson will stand in the pocket and throw all day,
Yes.
every day, and he'll throw lasers. It is incredible. And Ballard talked about this during our press conference. Yeah, I mean, he's not just an incredible athlete. He will throw. He's a great thrower. I mean, he's got a cannon. He really is akin to Josh Allen. Cam Newton, I guess, is really the best comparison. It's like a Cam Newton type player. He's a big body
that's
guy
true,
who will run through a
compared to-
wall. Yeah, it is true. It is true.
Yeah, I like that pick. I think he's gonna be fine as long as he learns to not take big hits. He'll be okay. That's his only issue.
That's
I
true.
think.
But, it'll come with time. He's younger than a lot of
Yeah,
people.
yeah, he'll be fine.
No,
He'll be-
the
he's not gonna-
quarterbacks. Go ahead, actually.
he's not gonna it's not gonna take him a whole year and a half to heal up. He's young, so he's gonna be fine. He'll be back by training camp next year, if not already way before then.
He is scheduled to start throwing next month,
Yeah, so he'll be
so
fine.
he'll be back. Conversely, we can talk about the Texans quarterback now, the one that the Texans got out of the Browns trade. How far will he be leading them in the playoffs? They have a tough matchup to next week, or this week
Yeah.
rather, on Saturday
Yeah.
versus the Ravens.
The Ravens, yes, the Ravens though. This is my thing when it comes to these teams, right? They're already came off a week, they're a week off. What Ravens team are we getting? Are we getting a team that dominating this whole season so far, or are they gonna come out flat for the first quarter, and are Texas going to be able to come out firing all cylinders like they just were?
It's like the argument with baseball right now with the bye weeks and playoffs with like how the Orioles and the Braves
Yes,
came
yeah,
out terrible
flat. Yeah, they
and
came out
yeah,
flat.
flat. And it's like, well, the Texans are hot. They're hot on defense.
Yes,
They're hot on offense. You know, I mean, the
and
Ravens.
they're the underdog. They got that. They got that mentality of we want to go in, we want to win. You
Mhm.
know, and what better way to prove it? Rookie quarterback, rookie head coach, young defense. That's they just want to make a name for themselves. So that's what they're going to try doing.
I agree. I think they're hungry, and if they win, it wouldn't even surprise me. But I do think the Ravens will take it, not just because I don't like the Texans, but in a more realistic, outlook. They got the bye week, and it stinks they're not hot anymore per se, but they've been flying under the radar the entire year. If I'm being honest with you, constantly throughout this year, it's been Bills. They suck. Now they're good again. Dolphins have been hot all year. There's been every other team talked about, but the Ravens have been just silently good constantly through the entire year. Their defense
Yeah.
is good. It's a great defense, actually. Their offense, I think they're getting Mark Andrews back. I don't know if
Yes,
it's
Mark Andrews is coming back.
I don't know if
I
it's
think
this
so.
game, but I think he's
I
coming
know they
back.
activated him. I know they activated him. That's for sure.
At
But
this
even
time,
then,
yeah.
they've been winning games without him.
Mm-hmm.
So like, do you rush him back? Like, how do you feel about? I don't know if you do. I don't think you should.
I
But
don't think you rush him back, but if he's able to play, you play him. I mean,
yeah,
it's a
they
playoff
just got to
game.
think like they got Lamar, man. Lamar, he's proven every year that he's a weapon alone.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean,
And again,
if
silently.
you can't contain him, you lose that game all the time. And speaking of which, with the Ravens, before the season started, when I was doing my fantasy research, I found out that the offensive coordinator that the Ravens hired was from it was from the NCAA, and he was a pass-heavy coordinator, or
Mm.
he had a pass-heavy offense. So I knew coming in the season, Lamar was going to be slinging it, and that's all he's been doing. He's just been slinging it the whole year.
Yes, he has. Slinging it to Mark Andrews, slinging it to Zay Flowers and Likely and
Odell,
Odell to a degree has been useful. I'm trying to think what the other wide receivers are in that one, but I'm blanking on it at the moment.
Nelson
But
Aguilar, I
regardless,
think.
Aguilar, I believe, yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, he's been slinging it to the guys, and they're not. I mean, they've been doing well. Those aren't top tier, top caliber wide receivers. Zay Flowers is a rookie. Andrews, of course, is a great tight end, and you know, he's very good receiving tight end. But Beckham is washed. Aguilar is Aguilar,
Yeah, you
and
don't know what you're gonna get from him.
Likely is decent. But their run game has been incredible this year. Gus Edwards,
Yeah,
Keaton
they
Mitchell,
had
Hall,
and they had plenty
Justice,
of
I think is his last name.
Justice Hill.
Hill, that's what it is, sorry.
Yep, they had injuries too, and they
Mhm.
just overcame them so far. So I
It's
wouldn't
a
mind see them play in the Super Bowl. That'd be kind of interesting. But what I do want is a Bills versus Ravens AFC Championship game. That's like the perfect matchup. I feel like to watch.
and we'll get into that right now actually. Um, the Bills go and take on the Chiefs this week. They beat the Steelers, no problem. Chiefs beat the Dolphins, no problem. There's really not much to talk about those games.
No,
But they go into Kansas City once again. Actually, they're playing at Bills Stadium.
yes, they're
Sorry.
playing in Buffalo this time.
Yep. So
This is
they're
the
gonna.
first time in Patrick Mahomes' NFL career that he's playing a playoff game on the road that's not the Super Bowl.
That's crazy. That is
I didn't
that
know
is
that till
honestly
this morning.
crazy.
It is. And the Bills, Josh Allen and the Bills, their kryptonite is the Chiefs. They have never beaten the Chiefs in the playoffs to move on.
Mhm.
If they beat the Chiefs, I will not be surprised if they go all the way this time.
I I can agree. See, a lot of the times, and in this league especially, right now, maybe it's more right now, the time period we're in, explosive plays are what win the game. We saw it time and
Yes.
time again with the Texans this year. The explosive 60, 70 yard touchdown runs and throws or what's going to win you the game. Period. You have to be more explosive than your opponents. And right now, are the Chiefs explosive? No.
No.
Nope. They dink and dunk down the field, which is the opposite of what they've been before. The receivers drop a lot. Kelsey had 3 drops last week versus Miami, I think. 3 critical drops, mind you.
Yeah. It's that Chiefs team's going downhill. They're going to be rebuilding soon because they also paid Patrick Mahomes all that money, so they can't pay everybody. They're getting old.
Well,
they ran their course.
They have one good wide receiver next year, that's for sure. Rashee Rice.
Yes.
Stud.
He's been outstanding. Yeah, he's been crazy. He was slow to start in the beginning of the season because they wanted to use Kadarius Toney the most, but then they realized we can't use him. He drops too much. So now I started using him in the second half, and he's just been taking the league by storm.
Yeah. But I agree with what your sentiment. The Bills, if they take the Chiefs, I mean, they're going to go.
I think so,
possibly
yeah.
to the Super Bowl.
I think they can beat the Ravens. They have the defense for it.
They're explosive. And yes, they have the defense for it too.
The defense, have the offense.
Ever since they fired
their offensive
coordinator, they've been a lot better.
And that happened after they beat the Eagles, or after the Eagles beat them in that overtime game in week, 11, 12?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like week 11. They fired him. Offense did a 180. Crazy. I never thought that would. I wish we did that. I wish the Eagles did that. That would have been awesome.
We'll get to them soon. But, yeah, I mean, it's a fun matchup, though. I mean, it's one that's great every year, Bills-Chiefs. And as long as the Chiefs retool, I'm sure it'll continue to be great. Moving forward, though, we'll get into the NFC now. We'll start with a headline event. Looks like we got Niners, Packers. That's a classic
sleep on
matchup.
Jordan Love. Don't sleep on him. He's a future Hall of Famer. I guarantee, future Hall of Famer. He has not played a real. He played like a couple bad games this year, but this is his first full season starting. He's been under Aaron Rodgers for 3 years. He knows how to read defense. He can sling it. We saw it in Dallas. He was throwing 30-yard passes like it was nothing off his back foot, like half the game. Now, I'm not saying they're going to go in and dominate like they did the Cowboys. That's not going to happen. It's the 49ers. They have a top 5 defense, top 5 offense. So, but I'm not on the Purdy train. If they get pressure on him, he will fold. And I think we kind of seen that when they played the Ravens. He folded a little bit when they got the pressure on him and threw 4 interceptions, I think.
Yep.
So we'll see. I mean, I think that game's going to be a lot closer than what people think. And, I mean, I'm going for the Packers. That's my team to root for now because they're like the underdog. That'll be cool. I think they can win. But it'll be like they got to do everything perfect.
Yeah, no, they definitely got to play very well versus the Niners, but the Niners have shown that they're beatable. I mean, it's doable. You know, they can do it. Somehow the Packers just have the best luck or knowledge or something when it comes to drafting quarterbacks because I don't know what to tell you, man. Favre into Rodgers into Love. I mean, it looks.
That was insane. It's insane.
It is.
It's insane.
It
and
is.
The worst part was the 49ers. Well, Rodgers wanted to go to the 49ers. But they picked Alex Smith over him.
Yeah. Which, I mean, in hindsight.
Alex Smith was good there.
Hindsight being 2020. Alex Smith ended up being decent. But not Aaron Rodgers.
No.
So,
Aaron
I mean,
Rodgers.
In my opinion, I like the Packers. I do. They're a great young team. It's kind of like the Texans. In a way, 2 first-year quarterbacks, young guys, young team, athletic team too. Watson, right? Is that Watson?
Yeah, Christian Watson,
number 9. Musgraves is very, very talented.
They
Aaron Jones is just exploded.
That was insane. He waited all year just for that game.
Their defense is great too. Jair Alexander is a great corner.
Yes. Yep.
I believe he's a corner, right? If I'm
Yes. I
correct.
think I
Yep.
think he's top 10 corner in the league right now, in my opinion.
Yep. I mean,
He
they've
locks
because
it down.
they've got a solid offense. But
Yes.
you're going up against, in my mind, the equivalent of something like the greatest show on turf. Really, just a team full of
True.
talent. You know, you got Ayuk and Debo, akin to like Torrey Holt and Bruce, uh, Isaac Bruce. Excuse me. You got Marshall Falk, the equivalent of CMC. I would
Yeah.
be
CMC 's
comfortable
right
saying
there,
that 10 times out of 10, and your quarterback's equal to Kurt Warner. I mean, Kurt was never anything
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. He wasn't. Yeah. Because
He
Kurt
was
Warner was a arena football guy first. Came in.
Kurt was a grocery bagger. Never anything crazy. He had a run with the Cardinals too, but you know, Kurt
He
was
was a
always a
game
game
manager.
manager.
Yeah. He was a game manager. That's all Purdy is.
Yep.
If Purdy's on a different team, he's not doing what he's doing. I don't think.
No, I don't think so either. And even with Kurt, when he went to the Cardinals, I mean, you had one of the top wide receivers of all time playing for the
Yeah.
team, and
Larry
I think they had
Fitzgerald.
Anquan Bolden. I think they
Yeah,
have
I'm
him
pretty
too.
sure. Yeah, they did have them both at
I
one
was
time.
9, but you know, whatever.
Because they I remember I watched a Football Life with Larry Fitzgerald or
Yep.
something, and he said that the coach wanted him to play a slot, and said that he wanted him not just to catch the ball, but to be like Bolden and become a monster when he catches it.
Yeah.
And that's what he did.
Yeah, that's what he did. He ended up being one of the greatest wide receivers, like a Michael
To ever
Pittman type
play.
receiver. Larry's never been flashy, but he's great, old reliable, and you know, Kurt always had talent to rely on like that. So
Yeah.
you know, Purdy is the same way in my mind. I think they'll win just based off of pure talent. I think they'll out talent the Packers, but if the Packers were to keep it close, it wouldn't surprise me. You know, I mean, the Niners are beatable. They're not unbeatable. They're not invincible. We've seen it this year.
Yeah.
The Ravens stopped them, and there have been teams that stopped the Ravens this year. So, you know, like the Colts, but we don't talk about that. You know, there's been a lot of teams genuinely that have stopped these good teams this year. You know, nobody's
Yeah.
unbeatable.
No, it's anything can happen on any given Sunday. It's playoffs. It's
Yep.
different. It's a different atmosphere.
Mhm.
So we'll see. I kind of want the 49ers to lose though,
Mm.
because then there's no, and if the Ravens lose, there's no top team really left to make it to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And it hasn't been done ever that both one season made it to the Super Bowl anyway. Kind of want to keep it like that.
Yeah, and it's definitely possible that, you know, it doesn't happen again. I mean, heck, we could potentially have a Houston versus Buccaneers, Houston
know.
versus
That'd be
Packers or
crazy.
Lions. I mean, honestly,
Houston, Bills.
Mhm.
Yeah, that'd be kind of crazy. But the Texans one would be even. Now that would be a story to be telling when we're old.
yeah. I honestly, if the Buccaneers made another one run with Baker, that would be an incredible story too.
That would
Just-
be. Well, even the Lions. I feel like
And-
I feel like anybody on NFC besides the 49ers would be a story.
Yeah, I mean the Lions have to be. They don't have to, but in my honest opinion, beside the Packers, the Lions really have to be the number one story. I mean, you're talking about a team that's never won a Super Bowl in the modern
They haven't
era.
even been, they never had an appearance in Super Bowl either.
Correct. I know. The last time they won a game, my parents were like 20. Last playoff
Bro,
game.
it's insane.
So that's a good story. I mean,
Yeah, 30 years. First time in 30 years that they had a playoff home game. And then they win. They barely won. Won by 1 point.
Stafford died on the field and came back. You know, from the dead.
For the views, man. For the
Yeah.
views.
Veteran move holding his side, saying, "My arm hurts." Anyway, but moving on to the last game of the slate, you know, we do have a Lions Bucks game, and I think the Bucks looked amazing versus the Eagles, but it's a bit of a fraud alert type dealio. I just don't think it's going to be sustained success, not against the Lions. I mean, look, the Bucks have a lot of talent, and Baker is no slouch, but he's not top tier. Goff's playing out of his mind, but did struggle a little bit in the second half due to the Rams getting a lot of pressure. The Bucks don't have that type of defense the Rams have. They looked very good, and they got some momentum versus the Eagles for sure. But part of that you have to wonder, was the Bucks' success due to how well the Bucks played, or was it due to the collapse of the Eagles? Which I'm unfortunately leaning towards the collapse of the Eagles.
It's the collapse of the Eagles. No one has ever seen that, ever. The only other team that did it was in 1986, I think it was the New York Jets. The same thing. They were started 10-1, lost everything, I think they lost the first game of the wild card, or they won the wild card, and then they lost.
Well,
the Eagles were six. They lost 6 out of the last 7 games they played.
Wow, that's a crazy stat.
Yeah, they were. The Bucks came in. They wanted it more. The Eagles all night had an opportunity to do it. The defense was finally holding them. All they needed to do was score a touchdown and tie it. Couldn't move the ball.
Yeah.
I don't know how you can't move the ball with that offense, you know? I mean, granted, yes, A.J. Brown's not there. Julio Jones got punched in the jaw, so he got out with a concussion.
Smith's a good receiver, though. I mean, that's, not just good. He's a wide receiver 1 on some teams.
Yes. Oh, I mean, I think on every team, except for, the obvious,
yeah. Oh, he's not one over Jay Jettas or Chase.
But no. Well, he's there.
I would probably argue he'd be a 1 on the Colts, too. I mean, it's one of those guys. He's talented.
Yeah, he can. I mean, we saw it. He can do it all. He plays bigger than what he actually is. Mm-hmm. I don't think it was just that game was weird. This whole second half of the season as an Eagles fan was weird to watch. 10-1, just beat the Bills at home in overtime. On top of the world, 1 seed basically is locked in place almost. All of a sudden it falls.
It's a shame. It's really, honestly, a sad way to go out for a lot of the veterans on the Eagles, too. Because you know that the ones that have stuck around are probably gone this season. Fletcher Cox.
Well,
there was one other name beside Kelsey, but Kelsey
so far, Kelsey's the only one who has officially retired. Greatest center that I've ever seen. Probably the best of all time, in my opinion. But I'm an Eagles fan, so you can say I'm biased. Watching him go like that, I feel like that was more upsetting to watch than us getting absolutely creamed last night by the Bucks. Just seeing him off the field crying, I knew it. I knew he was retiring. Now, am I worried? No, because we already have his backup. We have his backup for the past 3 seasons, so we'll be fine. But just not having him on that field and in that locker room, he held that locker room together. It's gonna be different team, I think.
It is. There's a lot of veterans on that team that key pieces, that have stuck around for a long time and been through the ups and downs and been through this and that with this Eagles team. And there are a lot of young players on the team that really probably benefited from that guidance and motivation and wisdom and everything that they provided. I mean, again, you're talking about Kelsey being one of the greatest centers, if not the greatest center to ever play the game, first of all, on the offensive line. So you have to wonder what happens to your line now. You got to get someone to replace him. Is his backup good enough at this moment, to just step in and be okay?
Yeah, he's been playing this whole time. I think he's been our right guard this time. His Cam Jurgens.
Jurgens, that's what his name was.
Yep. He's a center. We drafted him to play because we thought Kelsey was retiring. We saw a whole preseason. Kelsey was playing, so we're fine. This year, we lost our 1 right guard. We put him there for that play. So we got to get another guard, but Howie will figure out something with his little magic he has,
Always does.
Brandon Graham is coming back. He said this is his last season. Next year is his last season. Lane Johnson, he said he's staying for a few more years. He has plenty in the tank, he said. And I don't know about Fletcher Cox. He hasn't really said much since we lost. So,
Yeah. I it's scary when your center does retire like that because those guys are usually the big brain of the offensive line. And I mean, Colts fans will tell you we had again one of the greatest centers of all time too on our team, working with Peyton Manning.
Hmm.
Um, Jeff Saturday, just a phenomenal guy, and you know after we lost Saturday in 2011, our offensive line fell completely apart into nothing, and then Andrew Luck came in and got obliterated. I mean, it's scary, you know, when you don't have that cornerstone, that guy um, in that place. But Jurgens looked.
Yeah.
I did. Now that you mention his name, I've watched several Eagles games, and Jurgens does look great as a right guard. He made some mistakes last night. I think he had an eligible man downfield or something, and one
Yeah,
other
but
thing.
that's
But
on like RPOs, so
yeah, it's nothing crazy. He's been playing great,
yeah.
and
Oh yeah.
I
I
think
think they'll be fine.
I think you guys also have is it Soprano Jr. as the coach? Is that his
Our
name?
offensive lineman?
Yeah, offensive line coach.
No, Jeff Stoutland.
Stoutland? Ah, I'm thinking
Yeah.
of okay. Sorry, thinking of
He
someone else. Thinking of my team,
I
I
don't
think.
know what I don't know what he does, but he turns every offensive lineman we have into an all pro. Or at least a pro bowl.
Well, I'll tell you,
Um
we took your assistant O line coach, and for our team, and our O line has been much better.
yeah, well we paid Jeff Stoutland a lot of money to stay.
Mm.
They said you're not going nowhere, take all your money.
Mm-hmm. And your line has been
So
great.
yeah, arguably top 5 in the league or top 3,
Yep.
whatever you want. Well, that's not. I don't even think that's going to be our main problem. The main problem is our coordinators and coaches. We don't even know what's going on. Is Nick
Yeah, let's
Sirianni
go
getting
into that.
fired? Who knows? If Nick Sirianni gets fired, Mike Vrabel come to Philly. He
Think
has the perfect attitude. He has the intensity, everything. He changed Ryan Tannehill's whole career. Okay, we saw what Jalen Hurts could do last year with good coaches, right? He could easily change Jalen Hurts back to where he was. Jalen Hurts has that talent. We found it last year. Brian Johnson came in, ruined it, basically. Shane, of course, goes to the Colts. Per usual, we go to the Super Bowl. We lose our offensive coordinator to the Colts. I don't get it, but whatever.
don't worry, Jim Bob Cooter's coming your way. Don't worry.
But we're getting a new defensive coordinator no matter what they said. So I don't know who that's going to be. I don't really know who is out there like that and what defense they want to run.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean,
offensive coordinator, I think they have to let him go regardless. But he's apparently getting interviewed for head coaching jobs, which why? I mean, Panthers and the Titans. That's weird. Like he went from 10-1 and had the biggest collapse in history. Why would you want him as your head coach? Nick Sirianni, I mean, he does have the highest win percentage in Eagles history. Been in the playoffs past 3 years with a Super Bowl appearance, so it's kind of hard to be like to break ties with him. And I was talking to people about it because you could though, and the
you could.
reason why I wouldn't be surprised is the big name head coaches that are out there right now.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Vrabel, Bill Belichick. You got Jim Harbaugh who might want to come back to the NFL. You got Pete Carroll who knows he might actually want a head coach again. You got plenty of guys out there. You got Frank Wright. I mean,
You
granted he
have,
hasn't been a great head coach, but you still have coaches out there.
but you do have the young guys still that haven't had the chance that have been crazy, like Slowick on the Texans and Ben
Yes, I saw.
Johnson.
Yep,
I
I
mean,
saw somebody talk about Slowick because he was the passing game coordinator for the 49ers last year.
mm-hmm.
So he did all that for Brock Purdy and the 49ers. And then he goes to the Texans and he changed that whole offense around. And
Yes,
what
he
are we
did.
missing? An elite offensive play calling guru right
Mm-hmm.
now. So there's plenty of
100%.
guys out there. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's why I won't be surprised if we get rid of Sirianni. Do I want Sirianni to go? No, not really. I still think he's a good coach. But I'm not gonna be upset if he's
Look,
gone.
I mean, Vrabel got fired. I mean, look, Vrabel hasn't been to a Super Bowl. They've been to an AFC Championship game, I believe, or divisional, close to it, beating Brady in the playoffs a few years ago. But you fire a guy like Vrabel, I mean, you can fire Nick Sirianni.
That's what I'm
Vrabel
saying. Yeah.
again took honest. I'm gonna be blunt here. Took a shitty Titans team to new heights. He can take that
Yeah.
Philadelphia Eagles team wherever he
Easily.
wants it to go.
That's the other thing too is our roster is looks great on paper. Any
It is.
coach who wants to go onto a team and want to win right away, we're the perfect destination. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why I like Mike Vrabel so much is him and Dan Campbell are like similar. And I love that kind of coaching. I want the intensity. I want my team, I want the Eagles to come out on the field and be like running after the ball, doing all these different things to like have it that intensity be like this is my house, home or away type thing. And he brings that. Same with Dan Campbell. That's why I love Dan Campbell and the Lions, what they're doing.
Right, and you've seen it a couple of times with some clips and stuff like that. Sirianni, he's an excited guy, right? And he's passionate about football, but he's not the same as Vrabel. You see, oftentimes a lot of the Eagles teammates I've seen get a little annoyed by his antics and stuff like that. He's more like a frat guy, you know, a frat
Yes.
type of dude. Eagles really don't need that. They do need like,
An
you know,
intensity,
is my team.
intensified coach. Yep.
Did you see the? If we could do clips, we'll be prepared to do that. Did you see the interview that Vrabel had before they were going to take on the Jags? A reporter had asked him, "Why would you really want to win this game?" And the first thing he says out of his mouth is, "Cause losing fucking sucks.
Yes. Yes.
It sucks." And he yelled at.
I know.
He drilled him for like 3 minutes straight. That's what the Eagles need. That's what any
Yes,
team needs.
exactly. Exactly. That's why when the Titans fired him, I was so surprised. I thought that was the dumbest move of the century,
It was.
honestly, because you
was.
have a great head coach. You basically stripped him away from his offense and said, have fun. And that's the other thing. Derrick Henry is a free agent. I'm not saying he still has all this left in the tank, but you get Vrabel, you might be getting Derrick Henry as well with you. That might be like a package thing, you know what I'm saying? So
As long as
we'll
his
see. I mean,
contract's not crazy.
I don't think you would want a big contract like that, you know? But again, who really knows the running back situation with the NFL and the contracts? That's been an argument all year. So,
Yeah, of course.
but yeah, no, I knew that. So I heard Mike Vrabel got fired not only just because he asked to be the GM and he wanted more control, which I don't blame the guy at all. You traded AJ Brown,
Yeah.
like, and you got Traylon Burks, who's nowhere near what AJ Brown was. So,
Yeah, they got D Hop, which is the best they've done since getting rid of
yeah,
AJ
but
Brown.
even then, like,
And even then,
DeAndre Hopkins he's not what he used to be. He's
No.
old now. He's getting old. And I guess you could say, oh, Bill Belichick, but I don't want Bill Belichick. We saw what he did. He didn't do anything before Brady. Hasn't done anything after. So why would I? No, I don't. No. He can go to Atlanta.
I'll make an argument. Conversely, they did do pretty well with Drew Bledsoe, for the most part. I think they were almost in a Super Bowl with Drew Bledsoe, the year prior to his injury.
I meant like
But we don't
before,
know. You know what I
you
mean?
know.
We don't know how that would have gone. Would they have been to 10 Super Bowls? Probably not.
Probably not.
I don't know. You're talking about a goat. I mean,
Yeah. That's the thing. Tom Brady knew he couldn't win with his physicality. He could win with his mind. So he was studying all the time.
different
You know,
different generation of quarterbacks, different play styles. I mean,
easily, yeah.
Brady and Manning, they'll thrive in today's league if they were prime, but still, that's because they're goats of the position. I mean,
I would
Montana
love
again
for
would
them-
thrive.
I would love for them to be coaches.
Oh yeah. Well, it's just some of these guys just aren't really good at articulating, you know, their thoughts and getting it out and coaching people. Manning does the passing academy. I know Brady has done a lot of leadership roles and stuff within the Patriots organization and stuff like that with coaching
Yeah, I think Peyton
teammates,
Manning
but
would be the best because the way he talks about football, and he has changed some quarterbacks to be better. So I mean,
yeah, you would think. I mean, it just all depends, you know. It's just not every quarterback's meant to be a coach, but we'll see. You know, you got Arch Manning coming in the league soon.
oh,
Brady's son is getting older. Manning has a son too, so and he's already coaching Pee Wee football for his
all right. So
son.
what you're telling me is we gotta wait maybe 5 more years to get another Peyton or Brady and Manning matchup.
Hypothetically, I mean, they're touting. They really are touting Arch as supposed to be one of the best players of
Manning,
Manning player football.
yes,
I can't speak.
but he got
And
redshirted this year, so he still got 3 years left, I think, right?
yeah, he's
Yeah. So
no a little
he,
more
he
than that. It'll be 3 if he chooses to declare early.
yeah. I mean, I don't see why he wouldn't.
NIL deals.
Yeah, but see, Caleb Williams did the same thing. Look what he did.
Yeah,
He just declared too.
yeah. I mean, that's a scary class coming up too. I mean, they're all looking good
Yeah, especially
between
offense,
him.
man.
Yeah,
I
him.
think this is more of an offensive draft than defense. Next year's more of a defensive draft, I feel like.
Everybody in the Colts like fandom wants what's his name?
Marvin Harrison.
No, well, yeah, of course we want Marvin Harrison. But we're not going to get him. The cornerback out of is it Iowa? The white cornerback. Not to be
Oh,
racist. I can't remember his name. DeGene or something like that.
yeah, I know
Uh,
who you're talking about.
oh my
He's gonna
god.
go that. He's gonna go that high.
Yeah, apparently he is projected to go within first
I
round.
never even heard of him until
I
they
know.
started tweeting about him.
I know. But everybody wants him now. I don't know why, but we'll see what happens. I think we take a corner, but that's beside the point. Um, so, yeah, I mean, looking at it for this upcoming slate in totality, right, that we've talked about, I
Yeah.
have I have the Ravens winning, the Bills winning, the Niners winning, and the Lions winning. So Niners, Lions, NFC, and Ravens, Bills, AFC championship game. How
Yeah,
about you?
I have the Ravens, the Bills. I have the Packers, baby. Don't sleep on Jordan Love, man. And then I have the Lions as well. That
Okay.
would be a sick NFC matchup,
Yep.
championship game. Lions, Packers, division, intensity. Bills versus Ravens, best matchup, I think, that's the best teams to pair up against each other. But I think whoever wins the AFC side with that championship on the NFC side would win.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say who's winning the Super Bowl, just flat out. From what do you
Super
think,
Bowl.
based on your picks?
All right, so with this week, with us knowing the outcomes, I'm gonna pick the Ravens. But if I know the outcome and the Bills win against Chiefs, I'm picking the Bills.
That's fair. I've been mulling it over because I don't really feel like there's truly a pick. I think all the teams are beatable and all the teams can win except for maybe the Bucks. I'm sleeping hard on the Bucks, but
Until Baker Mayfield comes out and drops 400 on
I
the
know,
on
right?
the line.
That's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna be bold, a bit bold, and I am gonna say I think the Lions make it to the Super Bowl. I think that they find a way to do it.
I want to hate it. I would not hate it at all.
Do I
And
think
they
they
could compete.
win? It depends who they face. I don't think they can beat the Bills. I think they can beat the
I
Ravens.
think the Bills are more beatable than the Ravens.
Really?
I
Okay.
think. Yes. Because the Bills defense is more banged up than the
Hmm.
Ravens. That's the issue the Bills have. But the offense, if you can't stop if Josh Allen's on, he's on. You're not stopping him. But the Lions have that. They have that mentality on defense, like
They do.
that's my ball. I want
They
the
do.
ball, type thing. So
Okay.
I think the Lions could. If I think the Lions could, they just have to play good ball, great ball. They can't turn the ball over as much.
That's fair. And they have to find a way to get Jared Goff comfortable, because once the
Yes.
Rams started bringing a lot of pressure, he shut down very quickly.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like the Bucks, that game versus the Bucks could change because the Bucks blitz all the time. We saw it last night.
Yes, they do.
All they did was man blitzing.
Yes, they
But
do.
the Lions will adjust to that and figure it out, you know. And it's not like Jared Goff hasn't been to the Super Bowl. He's already been there once, so he knows what he has to do to get there. He has the experience. Baker Mayfield, he's just living off of that swagger he has right now. He is the Johnny Manziel of the NFL right now.
Wow, Johnny Manziel.
Yes.
Yeah, man, he's Baker. He's Baker.
He
Dude.
has that. He has like
got
everybody loves him. You know, he has those moves, the way he talks. He's just what Johnny Manziel did at Texas A&M.
Mhm.
But this time, Baker Mayfield is in the NFL.
I'm going to shift gears a little bit here with the. I want to talk about awards for the end of the season. We were going to have the award ceremony soon, and I don't think some of these awards are as clear cut as others, but who do you think is going to win MVP? Because in my mind, I don't have a clear choice. I'm just going to spitball an answer.
There's technically not a clear choice, right? Because Christian McCaffrey's put a great argument on why he should win, but it's a quarterback award now, so it's going to be Lamar. I think no matter what, it should be Chris McCaffrey. It should be, and then if Tyreek Hill never got hurt, I think he would have gone. He would have been up there as well.
Yeah, other quarterbacks like Josh Allen, while he led the league in touchdowns, it's just like he threw too many ins, right? You throw too many ins, you're out.
And I feel like the MVP award is yet to be good all year, not just second half.
And Jackson has been good all year. So
Yes, he's been fantastic.
I would definitely probably agree with you that Jackson's probably going to end up winning the MVP vote. I just can't see anybody else. Dak wasn't
the
good
only
enough.
other-
Purdy
no,
wasn't good
Dak-
enough. Jalen Hurts wasn't good enough.
Nope,
Um,
no one.
No one.
Burrow was hurt all year.
I mean, even Lamar wasn't like crazy good either, but he was just solid.
No, but he's
underrated.
beating those teams. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, if Brock Purdy came into Baltimore and beat Baltimore, he would be up there right now. But he didn't.
Yeah.
You know, so the
Yeah.
only player that I could see is Chris McCaffrey, and that's it.
I agree. I wish he would win that one, but he won't, unfortunately. But
Nope.
moving on, I think piggyback off of that, Christian McCaffrey does win Offensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, no doubt.
I mean, Tyreek unfortunately got injured, lost his pace, but it goes to CMC now.
Yeah, easily.
Now, Rookie of the Year, unfortunately, Offensive Rookie of the Year is another
Gotta be
quarterback
CJ
award.
Stroud. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a quarterback award.
But CJ Stroud did play really good though, so you gotta give him that, you know.
Yes, but Puka
True. Yeah, he does put argument there too.
was not a first round talent.
No, so I mean, he
and
could sneak in. He
He
could.
won't though. I mean, it's a quarterback
I
award.
know, especially with CJ Stroud beating the Browns and going into the playoffs division round. Now,
Yeah.
now CJ Stroud beats Ravens. Yeah, he easily lock it in.
Lock it in. Yeah, put money on it.
Put the bank.
Put the bank on it, dude. Defensive Player of the Year.
I don't
Tough
know.
one. Tough one.
Yeah, because there's a lot of good
Because
ones.
TJ wasn't that crazy good this year. Neither was Miles
And
Garrett.
Miles Garrett was good for a while and then kind of fell off.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like you have to give it to one of them, but
That one is just so much up in the air because there wasn't like one guy on
Yeah.
defense around the league that you knew he was playing outstanding all year long.
yeah. I can agree. It's going to be between one of those two. But Defensive Rookie of the Year is going to be a toss-up. You know, I think they were talking about Will Anderson Jr. getting it, but I also think Jalen Carter has a chance to get it too.
You were talking
Um,
about him getting it, yeah.
yeah, I think Jalen Carter has a good chance of getting it. There was a rookie on the Rams. I just can't remember his name. He had something like 7 sacks this year. Um, I'm not recalling his name. Just give me a second to look it up uh, on my other monitor because
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know who you're talking about, honestly.
let's see.
Because not Aaron Donald.
Nose tackle. There it is. Rams nose tackle. Uh, Kobe Turner. Looks
Okay.
like he had 7 sacks in 6 games this year. The last 6 games. That's why they were talking about him a little bit. But if we look at his stats on the year, anyway, let's pull them up real quick. It would be quicker if my computer would load. Okay, where are we at? 2023 defensive regular season. He's got 9 total sacks on the year. So not terrible. But I don't know the stats of Carter and Will Anderson this
Well,
year.
thing is, like,
Outside of the sacks, the rookie doesn't have anything else.
Jalen Carter, I think the only reason why is he stuffed the run a lot. He got plenty of tackles for loss. I think he got a couple sacks, but it was how much attention he's getting.
Okay.
He was getting doubled and triple teamed sometimes
Right.
this season. Will Anderson, we saw what he did in playoffs, easily.
Same concept.
Yeah.
I mean, fair enough. It'll probably be between those two though, but both Georgia players.
Yeah.
So
Georgia Bulldogs.
yeah. Unfortunately, comeback player of the year is going to DeMar Hamlin.
Yes.
So
We're not gonna get into that
hate
one.
it. Not gonna get into that one.
No. DeMar
good.
Hamlin, you win.
Yeah, congratulations. Glad you're alive. That's all I have to say about that one. But yeah, I don't have too much else to add to this. Unfortunately, I don't know. Do you have any more topics you would like to go over before we end the podcast? Obviously, we're gonna trim some things out.
Not for the NFL because there's nothing really going on.
Okay.
After that, obviously, I mean, we just got coach interview, like Bill Belichick got interviewed by the Falcons.
Mm-hmm.
Jim Harbaugh, I think, got interviewed by the
Chargers.
Chargers. Yeah, that's basically about it. The MLB, nothing's really happening. Otani, all of them, they got signed. Dodgers spent over $1 billion just to lose in the first round of playoffs. NHL, we don't have our guy here for that, so we don't really know what to talk about for that, except for like the Flyers rebuild year, 2 points out first. Crazy, don't know how this is happening. I'm just loving it. And that's basically about it, I think.
And basketball is something
haven't
we
really
don't know much about.
Yeah, so we haven't done our study with basketball yet. We're getting there, working on it.
I've been watching games.
Give us time.
I have. I've been watching some games every so often.
Well, what's crazy is the NBA. They're about to do what the NFL is kind of doing with the players. You know what I'm saying? Like how we grew up watching Rodgers, Brady, Drew Brees, and all of them.
Yeah.
Curry, KD, all of them. They're about to be retiring soon. So we're sitting here seeing the next great things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, and there's a lot of young players I've been watching in some of the games that I've been able to watch.
They're a young player, LaMelo Ball.
People are going to grill you for that. I don't know much about it, but I know that people don't like him that much.
I don't watch basketball like that, okay? But in high school, I watch his highlight stuff. I always say he was going to be a top pick in the NBA just because of what he was doing, because now they want people who can shoot threes. He can shoot threes. He can dunk. He can do it all. He just hurt. Maxey, though.
I love using Maxey. Yeah, I was going to say Maxey when I watched
Maxey is unstoppable.
Maxey he's the man. He's a good guy too. I'm trying to think of some other players.
Hopefully he can break that streak for the Sixers to get past the second round. Just like the Bills. That's their kryptonite, the second round. They get past second round, they're going all the way.
And I believe, I'm not following too closely, but I do believe that the Lakers are having a very down year. That LeBron hasn't been doing too much.
They have an old team.
They do.
Basically.
AD, LeBron.
LeBron is just playing because he's waiting for Bronny to get into the NBA so he can play one season with him and then he's gonna retire. That's what he said.
That's cool though. I mean, and
It is. It's awesome.
LeBron's
But
not playing terrible at his age either. But it's just the team's not doing much of anything
it
anymore,
would
and
just
he's
be
not.
like just like if Tom Brady was still playing NFL.
Yeah, exactly. As far as I'm aware, anyway. I don't know too much.
Yeah, I don't know. We got to work on our basketball and hockey stuff, but other than that, we got baseball MLB down. Nothing really happened in MLB except for the Marlins made a female a player development coach. So we'll see
Good.
how that goes. That'll
Good for her.
be interesting. Yes.
Hey,
Awesome,
she's
actually.
qualified for the position, then she deserves
Get it. Get it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to baseball. I'm looking forward to the talks we're gonna have in the future about baseball.
Oh, yeah, because you finally got the Orioles are finally making some noise, man.
I gotta step it up in my baseball knowledge this year. But my team's making some noise. And,
There's a lot of stories so far with baseball.
Yeah.
And it's just gonna keep on racking up because free agency has been so slow.
Yeah.
We have 1 month until pitchers and catcher report for spring training, and half of them haven't even signed yet.
And hey, I mean,
So-
I would love it if the Orioles can get another pitcher or two.
Yep.
We
Right
did
now,
just get
two
the
guys.
God, what's his name from the Phillies? Starts with a K, right?
Oh, you're talking about yeah, I know you're talking about.
Kimbrel. I can't freaking remember his name, dude.
Yeah, Kimbrel.
I'm
yes.
sorry.
Freaking Kimbrel, the dude who
Kimbrel.
blew the NLCS for us.
Yeah. Well, we did get him. I mean, he's
That's
probably
because-
better than some of the pitchers we've had this year.
That's just
Last year.
because Batista is still gonna be recovering rest of the year.
My depression, yeah, UCL, Tommy Johns.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, man, I'm hoping he comes back and is Batista.
He should.
But,
He should come back.
Not
Not in the beginning of the season. He might not come back till close to the end.
Well, we
So-
had Tyler Wells, who is a really good pitcher for us at the beginning of the year. It seemed like he got overworked or something happened mentally. We ended up shooting him down to Double A and even try Triple A and then Double A at some point during the year last year. He came back up into the roster around playoff time, but during the regular season he was doing great. I don't know if we overused him or he got into his own head. But
Yeah, and there's another
it's
guy.
unfortunate.
You guys got another dude from Philly, Cole Irvin.
Yes,
I'm
yep.
thinking his name. I follow a dude who loves the Orioles and talks about them all the time, watching them like every day. He was really upset that they didn't bring him for the playoffs because he was playing better than the other Philly guy that you guys also have. What's up with this, Scott? All your favorite teams take all of mine team players and coaches. Bag.
Hey, imitation is the best form of flattery, I suppose, right? Clearly, Philly is
guess.
doing something right in both regards because teams want him. I mean, teams
Yeah.
want him.
I mean, if you guys somehow spend money, Blake Snell, I guess, but he wants $270 million. He's not getting that. I don't think an actual team, unless they're rebuilding, is going to spend that money on him because
No.
he does not pitch that many. He averages like 5 to 6 innings, 5 innings pitched, I think, a game. It's not good.
Our GM's philosophy is much like Chris Ballard's and the Colts. We're not a spending team. We're a farm team.
Yeah.
And we're going to develop
Well, you
talent.
guys have a great farm system. That's why you guys are good
Yep.
now. Jackson Holiday, he's what, 19 years old, about making the
My
MLB.
boy.
Dude.
My boy Jackson Holiday's about to be a friggin' starting shortstop or whatever.
Age 19.
19 years old. God,
When I was 19, bro, I was just looking up every stat possible in the book for football.
working at pizzerias and
This
crazy.
dude's about
man.
to go hit some baseballs and everything. You guys are gonna be good for a while. I love
Yeah.
Adley.
Yeah, man.
He's,
He's arguably the best catcher.
I think he is. I
Arguably.
mean, JT's right there still, but
Yeah. Rodriguez.
Adley's taking that over either this year or next year, soon to be.
Just a home run machine too. I mean, God,
I know.
what a man.
I know. What a
Gunner too. Good guy,
Gunnar
young.
Henderson. Yup.
Yep,
And the best part is you guys are young. They're only gonna get better.
yep. All of those
And
players are
and it's not
25
like
and
yeah.
younger.
And it's not like the NFL. They have to play at least 6 years in the majors to be able to be a free agent. So you
Yeah,
guys have 6 years to build around a core.
yeah. We actually the only signing I'm recalling right now that happened within the week was we signed Ryan Mountcastle to a 1 year. Mountcastle is our first baseman, and
Yeah.
he's good. He's
He's just
good.
your
He's a good piece. Yeah.
typical big dude at first. Could field sometimes. Can hit
He
bombs.
he hits bombs. Yeah, he's one of my favorite players outside of Adley and Santander and Henderson. But I don't know why I like Santander. He's not crazy. He's just I don't know. I just like
Oh.
his name. I think I saw him when I was at the game.
I mean, he's good too. He's not bad.
It's not bad. He's
He's
decent.
not great.
No.
He's just your average ball player. He's a platoon player, basically, I think.
Yeah.
Hey, guys, you guys also changed Aaron Hicks around this past year. I don't know how that happened. He sucked on the Yankees. He goes to the Orioles. He just pops off. It
He was
insane.
yeah. He was better this year for sure. I think there were some moments where I was still pissy about him, but he was good. He was good.
Baseball this season is
Yeah.
going to be interesting, man.
It's gonna be a
That's
good
for
year.
sure. Can't wait.
Yep. Well, anyway, that just about wraps it up. Thank you guys for joining us today on this podcast. Again, we are hoping to continue to do this weekly, and we're hoping to have our other hosts next week as well. Thanks for stopping by. Have a good day.
Thank you.